So, how early do you actually start planning for your child for summer break?
I've learned that it needs to be earlier and earlier the further I get
Welcome to the Strong Like a Mother podcast with Cherie
And Jada. We're doing your best doesn't mean
Truthfully.
I think it creates its own level of panic and anxiety because I'm just fresh off a Christmas break, and here you are telling me camps are selling out fast.
Yeah. So we have been in daycare up until this point. So it's been very stress-free, very dependable. I know exactly what the hours are. I don't have to re-register. I have to pay the little summer fee for all of the extracurriculars they're going to do, but that's the extent of it. So this year is really the first year that we've had to really worry about summer camps. And thank God for one of Levi's friends' mom, Emily. She was like, hey, I'm signing Connor up for this summer camp. Do you think Levi would be interested? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely interested. Like, I was kind of like mulling over ideas. And yeah, it sold out within 30 minutes. Thankfully, we did get a spot. But because she told me and was like, hey, you should really be prepared for this. And this is we both have one child. They're both the same age. They're in the same class. They're little buddies. And so thankfully she did tell me and we were able to get a spot, but it sold out so dang fast that I was like, is this real life? Does this happen every summer? And apparently it does.
It is very much real life. And my husband is one of those careful thought considerations. Like I need to ask the question a couple of times because he's like, we have time. And I'm like, we don't. You need to make a decision or I'm going to make it for us. And it is just unreal. And I don't care how long I've been working out summer camps. And some summers I'm like, I'm boycotting summer camps. I don't want to spend this money.
Yeah.
I'll just do all the things with the kids over the summer and I won't and then probably by the end of June I'm like, oh, I should have thought this through. They need something to keep them more stimulated and I can't keep up 5 days a week with activities.
Even recently, whenever Levi's had like just weeks off for, Mardi Gras, spring break, whatever it is, it come about Wednesday, he's like, Mom, I want to do this. Well, are we going anywhere today? It's so boring. And I'm like, okay, son, like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. It's okay to be bored sometimes. But, I've just learned, especially summer is such a busy time for me for multiple reasons that I knew it was a non-negotiable and I was so thankful. I told her, I was like, thank you so much for telling me that this is when it opened and that this is how you do it. And now I know. So we registered for summer camp, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. We're recording, this is early March. So, it was, I think, the end of January.
Yeah. I remember like summer camp registration came up at Dylan's school the very last week of January. And I'm like, no pressure, pick it now. And it's hard because Riley is at that transition age where, she doesn't have to go to camp.
Yeah.
But I know how important it is for her not to be idle at home for 2 months. Like summer, that regression in like, brain power kind of happens to where like you got a rougher transition back into school. So it was like, what do we do? Okay, well, maybe we give her an opinion as to what she gets to do with her summer. Like, what type of camp would you want to do?
Right.
And so by the time we really asked her opinion, guess what?
It was all sold out?
It was all sold out. And so the other camps, she wants to do acting camp. They don't work with our summer schedule. So I'm like, now I have to figure out what to do for her this summer. Yeah. Which she's older. It's not as dramatic as a 5-year-old who is in a room full of toys telling you they're bored.
Right. Oh my God.
Or where are we going to go? Because I want to go here and I want to do this. And I'm just like, you let me know when you have a job. That we'll do all the things because we're spending your money.
Yeah.
Your money.
It gets expensive. Summer camp is not cheap. A lot of times it's more expensive than daycare
Oh, absolutely.
is, because they are doing activities and whatnot. And so, I mean, I get it. I pretty much registered Levi for every week except for the week that we were going on vacation for 5 days a week. And I know that we may not go 5 days a week, but I needed the option because, you know, like my mother-in-law is so wonderful that she usually will watch him like 1 day a week. And I don't want to take that away from her, but if she's not available, it's really difficult to line up that last minute childcare.
At least it's there.
At least it's there. And so I mean, the price difference was like minuscule, really, between 4 days to 5 days. So I'm like, we're just gonna do the 5 days. And if you don't go all 5 days, like that's okay. Because I may have a day off where it's like, okay, everything is kind of calm, and I want to take you to the museum or take you to the zoo or whatever. Well, maybe not the zoo in the middle of the summer, but whatever it is, whatever activity. Because I do think, especially when they're little, time does feel so fleeting these days. And so it's a balance of trying to make the most of their summer and have fun and create memories, but also still working and trying to manage all of that. And, it's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I do try and make summer fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this thing where like field trip Fridays, and we'll go and do things that were the zoo or the aquarium or any of those things, the jumping places.
Yeah.
We try and pick activities every Friday, and not all the time was I available to do those things. And so then I would feel guilty. I'm like, I really want to do something, but doing something every day it's never been an option for me. And sometimes they have the expectation because literally at school, yes, they do schoolwork, but they're constantly stimulated, and I do not have screen time barriers at my house, but I also don't enjoy that that's the only thing that they do. It's just watch TV or play on their computer games or on their devices. That's not what I want. I want you to get out and get outside and do stuff. And I also want to be able to have those moments where I'm carving out being present with them. So Dylan will be at camp 4 weeks this summer. So in the midst of that, I will try and make the most of those weeks because it's a big year for her. She's getting ready to go to kindergarten. So I want to celebrate that.
Yeah.
Riley's getting ready to go to middle school. So I want to love on them so much this summer. And I'm going to make my 15-year-old do whatever. She's got to get out of the house too.
Yeah.
But I do want to make the most of it, but at the same time being realistic to our lives and saying, I can't constantly entertain you.
No.
But let me make sure I give you enough entertainment over the summer.
Agreed. I think it's important, especially, your girls, they have each other as they grow, and you've got, they are spread out a little bit, but just hopefully they'll look back when they're older and see those memories and be thankful for them. I mean, who knows, they might not, but
I think it'll take at least a decade.
Oh yeah.
The previous summers I've mixed camp and I'd have a sitter. So, as far as the younger two girls, they didn't, because I've been self-employed all of their lives.
Yeah.
Or didn't work, that we didn't do daycare.
Yeah.
They would have Mother's Day Out programs to where in the summer they were off just like Peyton.
Yeah.
And so then when I got a lot busier in real estate, I was like, okay, well, I need a little bit of help. Our parents work, so that wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up, my grandparents were retired and we just go get dropped off at Grandpa and Grandma's house and, live your best life. So that wasn't an option. I was like, I need help, but I don't need full-time help. So what was the most cost-effective way? And believe it or not, it was hiring a babysitter. And we miss her so much because literally she played with them. She entertained them. She took them to the pool and to go and do activities. And it was just awesome. And Dylan asked, she's like, can she come back? And I'm like, well, she can't, she's gone to school and all that. But that was a great investment. But Peyton is getting older. So I do want to give her this transition summer and not just fully throw Dylan on her plate most of the summer.
Yeah.
But I also did not want to go back through the screening process of interviewing babysitters and building that trust back up with somebody. It's not like they're just staying at your house with the kid.
Right.
They're taking them out. I love that about the last babysitter, but that took a lot to build up to that trust, because I'll be honest, I'm one of those moms, like, the first maybe couple of weeks she would come to the house on certain days, I was still there.
Yeah.
I would just be in my home office with the door closed.
Right.
So I was still very much in the house. And until I felt comfortable, would I say, oh, okay, you can take Dylan swimming, or Riley will go with you, or any of that stuff. But I don't want to now.
It takes a lot to get over that trust barrier in the beginning. We have one babysitter that I pretty much will let her do, there's not a lot of limitation. If she was like, hey, can I take Levi to the zoo? Can I do this? I probably would let her. She's also an older babysitter that, this is just her job. She teaches during Mother's Day out, and then usually her summers or, she's off during the summer. So, and she babysits for us just for random date nights, because, we do have a lot of help with family, but you don't want to always ask your family for, childcare. Especially depending on what it is. Like, if we're going to be out late, then it's like, there's certain ones that it's like, okay, I'm going to choose this babysitter, or I'm going to go family, and it kind of depends on what we're doing. But earning the trust is a lot, because it's your child. It's, it's probably the number one thing in your life that you care about, that, you worry about. So there is a lot. And if you can find somebody that you do trust to take your child to whatever it is, whether it's, to go swimming, to go to a field trip, whatever, you better treasure them and pay them well, because they don't come around often.
So, wish me luck this summer with activities. But I've kind of honestly started mapping out certain things outside of camp that I'm like, oh, I'm really excited to do.
Yeah.
And when Riley and Peyton were smaller, I actually utilized the library a lot, because they have a ton of summer activities and events for the kids. And all three girls love books. Yep. And my big girls, I don't care how much they're in front of devices, they still read a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the library is 100% a field trip, and it costs me nothing, which is the best thing.
Yeah.
And so we keep zoo memberships. So that's, we will brave the heat, but the plan is to go very early in the morning.
That's the key.
Very early in the morning to get through it and get back home.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. And I think the aquarium's under construction right now.
But it will be open for the summer. So we're excited. That's on our list to go and see the newly renovated aquarium. And usually, because that place it's an hour away, we make a day of it.
Yeah.
So that's a big fancy field trip day.
Oh yeah. We love the aquarium. I have always, ever since I was a child, like, it's one of those things. I thought I was going to be a marine biologist whenever I was a child, because I loved the zoo and the aquarium and just those aquatic type animals, and I loved the beach, and it just, I don't know, it felt very natural. I was not smart enough for that, but
let's not say that. You had a different calling in life.
I did have a different calling in life, but I'm super excited to see when they unveil all of that we need to go and take a look. But right now we have 2 weeks before summer camp starts, between, school ending and summer camp, and then 2 weeks after, between summer camp ending and school starting. So we're trying to figure out what to do. Those are the only weeks that I have not really figured out yet. And I'm thinking one of those we might squeeze in a vacation. Like, we've got a beach vacation in the middle of the summer in June. But yeah, so we're trying to just kind of figure that out. But I am starting to feel the pressure of, if you don't figure this out, you are summer camp at that point.
You are. You better go get all your groceries done at Costco, because they're going to be like, I need a snack. I'm hungry.
Snacks. Oh,
and it's like, well, I don't want that kind of snack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is what we have.
Yeah.
Or we've eaten all
the good snacks.
Yeah. So, like when you get that variety pack, and they eat Cheetos, you get the variety pack, and the Cheetos is the last thing left. Like, listen, I'm not buying any more chips until you finish what we have in there. So that is hard because my grocery bill, as well as electricity bill, and that's not for them being at home and lights on. It's the AC.
Yeah.
We live in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like those bills go up, and you're just like, oh, I should have thought this through. So a lot of people, they do like the summer schedule for them at home.
Yeah.
And I've done that. Like we'll have like time where you have to do something educational.
Yeah.
You do a chore.
Yeah.
You have lunch. Like, okay, you get one snack here. You get one snack here. You still have to get dressed every day.
Yeah.
And I too have to apply that rule to myself. And I have to get dressed on days where I'm not coming out to the office. So practice what you preach.
Yeah, always.
But I hope that we don't have too many spaces in there. But it's nothing worse than packing your entire summer and you feel like you don't even have a break.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
And that's not fun, where you've had summer camp after summer camp, then trip after trip, and you just feel like you're constantly going and no one has gotten any kind of reprieve from the normal day-to-day of what the school year is.
Yeah.
So, and Dylan does get one extra week off. She gets out a week earlier than the other two girls. So she'll get a week where she gets loved on a little bit special.
Yeah.
Her last
Mommy
week.
and Dylan time.
Yeah, that's our designated Fridays. Usually it's Mommy Dylan Fridays because this is her last school year where she has Fridays off.
Yeah.
So at first I'm like, well, I still have to work on those Fridays. But now I'm like, we're coming to a close of this chapter.
Yeah.
So let me just make it as fun as possible to go and do activities with her that she wants to do.
Yeah.
Because the other girls have now aged out of them too.
And I find, at least in our industry, Fridays tend to be lighter days most of the time.
True.
Not always, but
it's the calm before the weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Monday, like, don't call me. Like, if it's anything frivolous on a Monday that you call or text me about, you are probably not going to hear from me until like Tuesday afternoon.
Mental note made.
Yeah.
Mental note. I got it.
Mondays are tough. It's just from the weekend, the weekends are busy in real estate. So you're catching up. I mean, obviously you handle what you have to handle in the moment, but I try to push as much as I can. If there's something that it's like, it's okay for it to wait until Monday, I push it to Monday.
Yeah.
I don't want to work on the weekend unnecessarily. So, when you already have to work, it's like, all right, let me limit the amount of time that I have to actually put into work on the weekend. So, it is what it is. But yeah, Mondays. But Fridays, it's like, okay, you can kind of, because you've worked all week to tie up all of the loose ends.
It's always the plan.
The plan. It doesn't always happen, but it does start to kind of, most of the time it's a little bit lighter. So it does make it easier to do those like mommy me days.
It is. And honestly, I enjoyed those activities during the week most of the time with them because they're not as hectic or busy.
Yeah.
Because we've gone to the zoo on a Friday and it was hardly anybody there.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah. I agree. If you can, like when you go to the zoo or to the aquarium or anywhere, museum, children's museum, whatever it is, if you go on the weekend, it's brutal. It's really brutal with how packed it gets.
Like theme park busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you make time for yourself during the summer when you're obviously like spread so thin? We're taking on more childcare responsibilities, whether you put them in summer camp or not. I think it just shifts because it's out of your normal, regular routine. So how do you manage like still getting that self-care, like me time in?
So I do typically plan them around whatever summer camp times. This will be the first year that I actually do not have a girls trip planned this summer.
Yeah.
It switched up on us this year.
So sad.
And so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss that. Or can I like plan a different, something that looks a little bit different this year?
Yeah.
But Jared and I's anniversary is in the summer, so we always have an anniversary trip instead. So that's one of those fun things we get to do. Well, I get to do over the summer that kind of takes me away from the kids and gives me a little bit of breathing room. But yeah, I will plan my days where all the best movies come out in the summer. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, totally.
I'll plan a movie day with myself, or go and get my nails done, or just go hang out in Target.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll do that when I have childcare allocated. this summer feels different. Everybody's a little bit older, a little bit more self-sufficient than the last year. So hopefully it looks a little bit better for me with just saying, okay, you guys are at home and you're good for me to go and do something for myself for like an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if you feel like this, even coming outside of my house, coming to my office and being by myself a little bit, it almost feels a little bit more therapeutic than just staying in that same environment.
Yeah.
Day in, day out. I could not imagine doing that for 2.5 months while they're home and balancing the two. I need the time to myself.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
So I'm in a book club that we meet once a month. We pick a book, we read it. And so I do that once a month, and that's kind of continuing on. But we usually have some really fun summer reads. So, you know, a lot of like beachy stuff and just, I mean, you know, the romantic, whatever, like the summer reads have been, I think, a little bit better. Plus, you know, there's just something about going on vacation, taking your book with you. So I have that. And then, I mean, I do keep a pretty strict schedule of like self-care things that I do. So I try to stick to that as much as I possibly can. Just because I know that I am better for it if I do that. You know, I feel refreshed and my patience is so much more. That's when I know that I need those self-care moments, is when my patience starts running thin.
Yeah.
I've had too much togetherness with my child, truthfully. And just feeling like the gas tank is empty. And so it's, you know, I look, my sister, God bless her, she is a stay-at-home mom. She's got, you know, they have 5 children, but she's got 3 littles, and then they're expecting their fifth. Well, they have 4 children, but no, gosh, I'm like losing count at this point. But she's home with them all the time, and it's like you look at different personalities, and I'm like, I know when I've hit that limit of like I have been with my child just a little too much. And the summer I have to kind of be a little more aware of that, because you do have a lot less structure and a lot less routine.
Right.
And it's just one of those things that it's like, you know, mentally I've got to prepare. But I do usually take a girls' trip in like the spring, summer. And then I have a friend of mine who's like really wanting to do like a quick little female only Disney trip, like let's like fly in super early and we'll head straight to the park. We'll send our luggage to the room. We'll go make a park day. The next, you know, it's like a 2-night thing and you're done. So like there's definitely some other things. We haven't really made it happen. She's made it happen with some other friends, I think once, but I've got some things kind of like in my head, and it'll just kind of depend on like where things fall this summer, because summer we do normally travel a lot historically. So kind of, you know, we'll see how that plays out, because we've got something in May, we've got something in June. July is kind of bare for us, but usually we kind of travel or do something once a month. And so I'm usually booking my own self-care stuff around our vacations.
Yeah, you're like, I need to relax before vacation, and I need to relax after to decompress from the vacation.
Yeah.
So it's like that constant hamster wheel of vacation, rest, vacation, rest.
Yes.
Yeah, I love to try and get as much travel done as possible in the summer, because I'm not navigating school schedules. And now everybody is about to be on a regular school schedule. So that's going to be interesting. But this year, I mean, honestly, we're nervous about how more expensive travel feels like this year.
Yeah.
So we haven't planned as many trips this summer, but I love kind of like that right before school trip.
Yeah.
To like one little last hurrah.
Yeah.
Before we buckle back down and get to that schedule, because I love that sense of normalcy that we're kind of getting back to.
Yeah.
But let's have a little bit of fun right before we go back to school.
Yeah.
And we do a like right after school. We usually do something, but the older girls have so much going on right now. It's hard. Like we're literally waiting to see. Our oldest is about to audition for a play. Like if she gets a part in this play, it dictates our schedule. And I'm like, when did this become my life? But here we are.
I do feel like the older they get, the more the sports and the extracurriculars and all of that stuff, it does take over.
And it feeds into the summer. Like, it's not just a school year situation, and I have to, like, literally plan my life out months in advance because these things are coming up, and then you're getting less flexibility to just do spontaneous trips. Everything is kind of planned. So now I've mapped out the entire summer. So I'm like, okay, well, now we gotta, this is where we can fit things in on certain weekends and go and do stuff as a family unit or mommy daughter days, however it looks. Like, this is where we fit it in, and then this is where mom, like, sits back and, like, listen. I told them actually this weekend coming up, I was like, mom's off on Saturday. Jared's like, I don't even know what that means. So I'm probably going to be in this bed watching Netflix. That sounds like the best day where I just
luxury.
I just hang out and I do nothing. Like, that's where I feel like that's where this train is headed this week.
Especially when you can watch what you want to watch on Netflix. We haven't quite hit that point where, like, I can relax on the weekend and watch, like, what I want to watch. One, because a lot of times what we're watching is just not appropriate for a 5-year-old, whether it's, like, violence or just whatever. It's like, okay, we're not going to watch this around our 5-year-old. Like, we love to watch TV shows together. And, I mean, you just pretty much got to wait till he goes to bed because he's still so, like, I want to watch my shows or whatever. And, I mean, really, I don't mind ultimately, but to watch what you really want to watch on a Saturday and all you do is lay in bed, order some takeout, like, sign me up.
Well, Jared cooks, so I don't have to order, but he can DoorDash it or anything like that. But I go in mommy timeout. In my room. I don't put my kids in timeout. I put myself in timeout and just take the day to just decompress.
Honestly, that probably works better anyway, because when they're in timeout, they're, like, whining and they're upset that they're in timeout. It's fine. I'm gonna just put myself in timeout.
I'm like, let me remove myself from this situation.
Well, and when you, as a parent, I know when I look back on situations, it was really, I was spread thin. My tank was empty. A lot of times when I have those overreaction moments where you just are like, I'm done. You know?
Usually I can ignore whatever the randomness is, and I'm like, okay, listen, and I can talk to them in a calm, cool, let me give you your minute to collect yourself. But then when I've been run ragged, and the summer is constant. Like, we're constantly around each other. We get so much more of each other. And, you know, I'm sure some moms don't feel that way, and God bless you. Everybody's special. Everybody has their own talents. He did not bless me with that. Sometimes I've had enough, and I just really need to just
scale it back.
Myself. And, like, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. We need a break.
That is so true. So true.
I love them, but, you know,
I think it's normal to need a break from them sometimes. And they probably need a break from us sometimes too. That you just, you know.
Oh, especially when they're teenagers. They're like, I'll take all the breaks.
Yeah.
Please let me be.
Yeah.
So.
That's very true. Very true. So, as we wrap up, I want to talk about our Strong Mother Award.
Yeah. So this week we got a nomination in from our friend Millie. She is an amazing supporter of the podcast. We love you, Millie. And she wanted to nominate her friend Sierra. We were told Sierra has had a rough couple of years, but that has not stopped her from being an amazing mom to her daughter and doing all of the great things, going after her second degree. I mean, could you imagine, while raising kids? And that is just so amazing. And we're so happy to give you this shout out. And we know for you, the best is yet to come for you, and that this season will soon pass. So
amazing job, Sierra. You were an amazing mom, and we support you. And I mean, kudos to you, girlfriend, for getting that second degree, because a lot of us didn't even get a first degree. So I think that's so empowering as a female. So good for you, and we are so proud of you.
Absolutely.
All right, so if you miss us in between episodes, you know where to find us. You can find us on Instagram at Strong Like a Mother Podcast, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.